Hello everyone, this is Taryn with Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and today I'm working through day 1 of the new study, Handcrafted, Created for His Purpose from By the Well for God. Now, our creative team member Gail went on live on Instagram the other day and challenged us to all do a blackout challenge. And so in this challenge, she challenged us to create a background that was completely black and then start from there. So that is what I'm doing. I'm using black Soot Distress Oxide because I want some oxidization when I add some liquid. So hang on as I make this all black. I also picked up these new mica spray stains from Tim Holtz, and I decided to pick out the gray one and just spray that over my background to add a little bit of shine. But you know me and mixed media backgrounds, and I can't just stop there. So I'm going to dry this off first, and then I'm actually going to add some splatters of water to my background. I just do that with the Distress sprayer. Just like a half pull on that makes bigger drops of water. I'm going to dry it a little bit and then pick it up with some tissue paper. These water droplets will start the oxidization process of the ink, and so you'll see these gray spots kind of form from where the water droplets were. I also took out this lace stencil that was from an older By the Well for God kit. I love this stencil, and I put Crackle paste through it. Now, I was thinking it was going to leach up some of the black color from the ink, and instead it just leached up this yellow, kind of like neon glow in the dark color instead. So that's not what I was going for. And so instead you'll see me kind of work with that. I'm going to, once it's dry, I'm going to add a little bit more ink to it. That still doesn't do it. And so I'm going to start adding some Distress crayon to it just to darken it up and make it more of like a tan or a brown color more than that yellow neon glow in the dark color. So this is a process to darken these areas up, and so instead of continuing working on them, I just jump to my cluster. Now for my cluster, I know I want some lighter colors. I want to bring in this tag that was from the printables because I'm going to feed that through my typewriter and write some stuff that I learned from day 1's devotional. I also have this older little sewing instructions that a friend sent me. So I'm kind of trying that out behind it. Eventually I actually change that piece out, but it takes me a while to figure out that I think something else will work better. But I am also adding that word flashcard. I definitely want to use that one. And I want one of the florals from the kit. And I decide on this lighter kind of peachy tan looking one. I also definitely want to add some texture to this page. And so I grab this little ruler ribbon that was added as a little extra to this kit. And then I will start fussy cutting out this floral piece. Now, fussy cutting these die cuts is not needed at all. It's just a preference of mine, and it's something that I love to do, especially for this page. Since the background is so dark, it'd be really stark to have so much white around that ephemera piece. And so that's just an option for you if you want to cut more out. It's definitely something that I love to do, but not necessary. So here it is where I show you that I'm coming in with that Distress crayon. I'm using the black Soot, and I'm just kind of scribbling over all that Crackle texture paste and rubbing it in with my fingers. It does get really messy on your fingers, but it does the work, and I like how it turns out. Once I'm done rubbing in that Distress crayon with my fingers, I do spray a light mist over the Crackle paste and then pick up the top of that Crackle paste with that tissue paper again. That's just going to lift off from the high points of the Crackle paste. Now that background truly looks like a vintage piece of lace fabric. Now for that word flashcard, I'm going to do my usual and dog ear that corner and add a piece of pattern paper to the corner. Now this will lighten up the card a little bit since it is black and the background is also black. It was being a little too much, and so having this little piece of pattern paper on that corner really lightens it up. Now, since I did distress all the other sides of this flashcard, I am going to have to come back in and distress that dog ear part just so it looks cohesive and doesn't look like it's just thrown on there. I do want to add some hardware to this word flashcard. So I grabbed this silver brad, but the only thing is I don't want it to be silver. I want it to look old and worn. And so I grab my mushroom alcohol ink and add just a drop to the top. And then I'll just sit there and wait for it to dry a little bit and drop off the excess on that tissue paper. And then I will just poke a hole and thread that through kind of the dog-eared portion of the word flashcard. I do want to add just a little bit of grime to this brad, and so I grab my grit paste and just with my finger dab a little bit on that, and then once it is dry I will come back and color it. But for now I'm going to jump to this ephemera piece. I still don't want those white edges, so I come in with my makeup brush that has a little bit of brown on it, and I'm just going to brush that over the edges, and then I'm going to work on how this is all going to layer up. So I did want to add some notes of day one's devotional from Lori, and she writes, "This verse is not so much reflective of us, fearfully and wonderfully made, as it is a marvelous reflection and celebration of our Father, the creator of that which is made fearfully and wonderfully." And so I kind of just took that and made a condensed version of those notes and added that to this tag. I am distressing the edges of this tag as well with this new tool I got from Tim Holtz. I am sure my scissors are much appreciative of this because I usually use my scissors, but I don't like anything to lay flat really on a page. So this tool is definitely going to come in handy. I also picked up this velvet frayed ribbon from Hobby Lobby the other week when it was on sale. I'm so happy. The peaches match perfectly with this kit, and so I'm layering that down and going to put that ruler ribbon on top of that. Here is where I decide I'm not crazy about that sewing instruction paper I have in the background. I think it's the color, but I'm not sure. I'm definitely going to save it for another page because I really like it. But instead, I grab this sewing pattern paper that I'm going to kind of just crumple up and layer behind. And then I will put it through my sewing machine to attach it. I really like how this turns out better. It kind of gives more of that neutral vibe with the lace right next to it. So I end up taking everything over to my sewing machine and sewing all the way around this tag, and then also sewing some layers and some folds into that velvet ribbon, and then also just sewing that ruler ribbon on top of the velvet. So I start adding some glue to the back of this tag, and then I realized that I really wanted to add something through that hole. And so I grabbed the canvas bag that the kit comes through and kind of just pull out that string. I think it works perfectly for this. And I'm going to just thread that through there and leave those strings kind of hanging. I think it looks really nice. And then I will glue it all down and then start just layering everything else. I do add a couple of staples to that word flashcard on the side. It is not holding it down at all. It's just for looks. So I'll just add 2 of those there with my tiny attacher and then glue this down. And then I decided that I'm going to put that ribbon on top of everything. I like the look that it gives. It gives more color to this page. And so that is why I decided to layer that last. I do end up leaving all my threads attached to my ephemera pieces and ribbons. I really like the texture that it gives, and especially since this is a black background, that string, which is white, really pops off the page. I also tie knots on the string up above. That will help it not fray anymore. And I grab some foam tape to add to the back of that floral piece. That will help it kind of stand out and not get lost in the sewing pattern paper and the tag. After that, I grab my Distress Crayon in Vintage Photo, a nice brown color, and add just a little bit of that to my grit paste on that brad. That'll kind of grunge it up a little bit. And then I'm going to place that floral up above to add something towards the top of the page. And I'll also go through my stash and find one of those mini paper clips from Felicity Jane. I have like a peachy pink one that matches perfectly, and they add just a great little addition to a page and really finish it off. So that is that, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. You can go ahead and follow me over on Instagram at Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and I will link everything I use down below. Bye, guys.